Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Cook Along, UB Chef Cook Along. I'm about to get cooking with 10 dishes, as usual, taking you through step by step how I present them, put them together. It's really easy. If you haven't done it before, everything comes all labelled, numbered, colour coded. It's just very easy to put each element together. It's all cooked, it's all prepared. All you've got to do is basically heat it up and then a little bit of dressing, etc, but it's really easy to get the restaurant result in your own home. So let's get cooking. I've got croquette of rose harissa spiced rabbit coming up. I've got twice baked cheese souffle. We've got cassia spiced rice pudding with lovely little Acacia plums on the top. So much happening. Keep watching for all the dishes. Weekly bake courses first up, and what we've got is a smoked pimento crackers. So look in there, lovely crackers. You get lots of them as well if you order the weekly bake. All you need to do, spread them out onto your tray. Just try and get them in one layer if you can. A little bit of rapeseed oil on the top, that will bake into them all nice. 1 to 2 minutes in the oven. There we go. Remember, oven temperatures, everything's 190, really easy. And then when they come out, I've got some fresh mint here, which I'm just going to chiffonade up. That's basically really thinly slice it. A little bit of compressed cucumber, take it out of the bag, just onto a tray, and then you've got your tzatziki in here as well. So these three elements are going to go onto the top. I'm going to show you when we come back how I put this all together, ready for the first course. Okay, so I'm just finishing off piping my tzatziki onto my lovely smoked pimento crackers. So you see how I cut the little edge of a piping bag off. Just finishing that off there. Remember, loads of tzatziki, so make sure they get nicely covered on there. And then what we want to do, take a spoon, get some of your compressed cucumber, and just spoon that over the top. You don't have to be too kind of like placed with this. I just like to get loads on there. And here, so you've got that creamy tzatziki, lovely and fresh, crunchy cucumber on top of those crispy crackers. And that will leave us just to finish the mint off. So a little bit of cucumber, let's get a bit more on there, and then let's get the mint. So I've just taken the mint off of the stalk, and then basically bunch the mint together like so, put it on top of each other, and then you want a nice sharp knife here. So little bridge using your knuckles, as it were, and then just rock that knife back and forth. You don't need to lift the blade up too high. You just want to finely shred that down, like so. The end bit, just keep that back, and then as easy as that. Look at that. Look, do it from a height so you can get a nice little spread of the mint all over the top. Finally, a little bit more rapeseed oil, lovely little shine, and also I like salt, so I'm just going to add a tiny bit of molten salt onto the top. Let's get our dish. Just a little bit of pearl barley or risotto rice, whatever you want to plate it up on, or you could go straight onto your serving plate. We've done this one before, but it's just stunning colours. Lovely and warming spices to go to the table. And I'm just going to get all of those in there. One more sitting right in there. And there you go. Weekly bake, a little bit different. Crackers, tzatziki, that lovely warming smoked pimento flavour. Hope you enjoy it. So a little starter here for you. This is a Timbale crab. We've got a little tandoori butter set in the bottom. Then we've got white crab meat, brown crab mousse set on the top. What you want to do, pan of water just here. So hot water. Dip your mould just into the boiling water. Not too long at all. Let it drain before you kind of like put your hand on the bottom because of hot water, and then hold it over and essentially look at that. Let the mould go to the side, let it drain slightly, and then I'm just going to sit that very carefully into the centre of my plate. Little rinse of your hands. I'll just show you that a bit more close up so you can see that butter on the top. That's all going to be nice and soft, room temperature now, start to melt, and that lovely bit of crab underneath it. Right, what we're going to do, let's get rid of our water. And I've got a lovely little selection of salad leaves here. I'm going to take a little bit of lemon dressing, which all comes with it. Spoon some lemon dressing on the top. This is really important with salad. Dress the salad leaves before they go onto the plate. Tiny bit of salt. That's molten salt going on there. Just with your hands. Just make sure that's all coated. and then we're gonna arrange those lovely salad leaves around a plate. So here, when you arrange them, try and go for a bit of height. You know, place them rather than just trying to put the whole lot on at once, and that way you'll get that nice bit of height to it. There's a whole little mixture in here, beautiful leaves. So I'll keep on getting those all dressed up, and then we're going to get some of our cucumber on there, and we've got some rainbow radishes, so a few more little leaves to finish. Right, then cucumber. Again, let's take a little bit of our dressing, make sure they're all nicely dressed, tiny bit of seasoning on the top, and then what we'll do, I'm just gonna almost take a little bit of that cucumber. This has been compressed. Basically we sous vide it or vacuum pack it, and that intensifies the flavour. So take a bit of time, fold that cucumber over. Not too many ingredients, but it's worth it for the presentation. Make the most of them, like so. Then radishes. So we've got multicolour radishes going through here. And that's where it really does start to come together now. Little pink ones. Look at this, really delicate. I'm really taking my time to get the best presentation I can out of these lovely ingredients. There we go. Right, last things to do. Lemon dressing. Trickle that over. Got a good bit of dressing because that crab is rich with that spiced butter on the top. And there we go. A little bit of a presentation one. Honestly, take your time. End up with a lovely crab salad essentially with that beautiful spiced tandoori butter. Onto our meat starter now. We've got a little rabbit spice croquette here, spiced with rose harissa in now. It's rose petals, chilli, really nice. They're going to go in the oven about 5 to 6 minutes. They're just in panko breadcrumbs. They're going to heat up very quickly. Let's get that in. There it goes, that's our croquettes heating up. Garnishes, I've got a carrot puree just here, Vichy carrot puree. There's no dairy in here, it's just emulsified with rapeseed. Beautiful colour. Just onto the stove. Sweet and sour sauce and sweet and sour carrots. So in here we've got some salted carrots, just with herbs. We've kept them separately. When they go into the bowl, make sure then you mix them together, just so that they don't dye the same colour. Get some sweet and sour dressing in there and give it a good stir. And make sure you do this a little bit ahead of time. See, now we've got the rabbit heating up, but the sweet and sour sauce is going to start working with all of that carrot, and it will wilt it down a little bit more, which you want. So there we go. That's my carrots all ready. I've got my sweet and sour sauce. We're going to be right back when the croquettes come out, and I'll show you how to put it together. So almost ready to serve my rabbit now. So what I've got there is that beautiful carrot puree, so smooth. Just put a little swipe of that on the plate, like so. I'm also going to put another little spoon, so I really love this puree, so one more little spoon at the bottom, like so. Then what we'll do, this is my sweet and sour. So before you put it onto the plate, what I suggest you do is just get the shape and just mould it on the spoon, because it can sort of mesh your plate up quite a bit as you put it on there. So get a nice bit of the carrot. I'm just going to put one pile, go back for more. Beautiful crunch from this, absolutely lovely. There's another one, and a little bit more, like so. You can always go back if you like, put some final pieces on. Right, then what we'll do, take your croquettes, I'm just gonna put those on top. Look at this, you've got a spiced, warming rabbit in those breadcrumbs, crunchy carrot salad, then sweet and sour sauce, Just some nice little pulls of it. You don't want to kind of dress the whole thing, because then all you're going to taste, of course, is sweet and sour, and you want to be able to taste all the different elements. So nice bit of sweet and sour on top, and then finally the sturgeon leaves. Beautiful, peppery, and they are a brilliant match to this one. And there we go. That is my croquette of rabbit, little Vichy carrot puree, sweet and sour carrots, the sturgeon sweet and sour dressing. Vegetarian, of course, is this lightly set Gran Padano cream in here, so very, very lightly set cream which will be infused with the cheese. That will be at room temperature for you to serve. And then what we've got is some little black olive palmiers here, Kalamata olives dust, just rolled in between the puff pastry. In the oven with these, literally just 1 to 2 minutes, no more. Whilst we're doing that, let's give our dressing a little stir. This is a tomato water dressing with rapeseed oil and shallots. So nice amount of that over our Isle of Wight tomatoes. Seasoning as well. Good bit of seasoning, don't be scared of the Maldon salt. Give that a good stir. And what we'll do, start building our tomatoes. Some of these are dehydrated, some of them are fresh. Again, different levels of flavour. So we'll start getting those all the way around our dish. There we go. Excuse that motorbike in the background. And I want to get loads of them on here, because obviously when you dip in, you've got that Parmesan cream underneath. So, like so, some of the dressing on the top. There we go. Then let's get that onto my board. Here we go, look at these. Lovely selection of flowers, herbs, absolutely beautiful. Let's grab my little olive croutes out of the oven. There we go. Onto my board, careful of that hot tray. Like me, make sure you have a little cloth just on your side, which you can keep grabbing when needed. So, see, I'm just gonna put those. Look at how delicate this is. Beautiful already. Get those all little resting in there. Like so. Then I'm just gonna finish it off with a nice selection of flowers. Remember when we did this dish a few weeks back, but then it was a tomato chow mushi, like a set custard with miso. So we've taken that idea forward for this dish. Little bits of tarragon, more flowers. Remember, you eat with your eyes, of course, so this is a real opportunity to sell it to your guests even before they've tasted it. So a few more, don't want to overdo it. A couple of those little cornflowers just to finish. Vibrant blue, absolutely lovely. And there we go. Onto our plate. I'm sure you'll agree. Looks like a painting, doesn't it? This is my set Gran Padano cream, Isle of Wight tomatoes, and little black olive croutes. Got a lovely hake dish for you here for fish course. Lovely piece of hake which we've salted, and then we've just lightly coloured it on the top. This is going to go in the oven for about 8 to 9 minutes, so let's get that in now. Here we go. Again, 190 for everything. Garnishes, we've got a saffron sauce here, which is made with a mussel stock from when we cooked the mussels. Look at the size of them. Lovely, beautiful, floury mussels. The sauce wants to go onto the heat. I'm not going to heat it up just yet, of course, because my hake's still got a bit of time. But once my sauce comes up to the boil, all the mussels, courgette, lovely little potatoes in there, that's going to go into the sauce, and then you need to heat that up for a further 2 minutes. So bring the sauce to the boil, turn it down, add the vegetables, bring it just back up to the simmer, further 2 minutes. And then we've just got a little bit of samphire grass here, a bit of butter in there already, put a little dash of water, that's all it's going to take, and then that will go onto the heat just to stir it over, just to heat that back up as well. So back in about 7 minutes when my hake will be finished cooking and will be ready to plate up. Right, it's hake time. So saffron sauce, mussels, hot bowl, and my samphire grass is all ready. Let's come back, get my hake out. Lovely. So what we'll do is take a nice bit of samphire, first of all, give it a little drain off. So where we've added that water and of course the butter, we just want to drain that off as we add it into our dish. Then I'm going to get my mussels, beautiful big juicy mussels, potato, courgette. So I'm going to get that all placed around. And again, quite a bit of sauce going to go into this dish. That's why I'm serving mine in a bowl. You don't have to, you can add the sauce if you like on the side. But I really love it. The hake, lovely flesh on it, which goes beautiful with that creamy saffron. So almost all good on there. Those last few mussels, I don't want to waste any. So that's all on. Let's get our little hake. Sit that just on the top. The tiniest bit of mould and salt. And there we go. Beautiful, simple hake, mussels, saffron, courgette, potato. Ribeye of beef is back for the main course this week. Here we go, lovely piece of ribeye. We've prepped it all for you. It's all nicely rolled with serrano ham around the outside. This is going to go in the oven at 10 to 12 minutes. So let's get that in. 10 to 12 will be nice and sort of medium rare. So if you want it a bit longer, of course, another 5-6 minutes. The garnishes, it's a little bit of pomana, but we've cooked it in beef dripping. So when that heats back up, we'll have this lovely beef dripping kind of melted. Just give it a little baste in there. That's going to go in for about 10 minutes just to heat up. And then little mushroom, which we've char grilled, lovely little garnish to go over the beef. 4 to 5 minutes in the oven just to warm up. So they will go in once my beef has had a little bit longer. And remember, most importantly with the beef, when it comes out, rest it 4 minutes, I'm suggesting. Rest it a little bit longer if you prefer, of course, but it needs to rest so the meat can calm down and then it will be not tough at all. A little bit of watercress puree, red wine sauce, both of those just on the stove. They're going to get warmed up last second. And then béarnaise butter. So like béarnaise sauce, this has got all the ingredients in there. It's got shallots, it's got tarragon, it's got that vinegar reduction. That's going to go onto my beef when it comes out the oven, then it will all start to melt. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. Then I'm going to show you how to put my rib of beef together. So nearly beef ribeye time now. My ribeye is just there, that's been resting. I've taken a little string off of it when it came out of the oven, and then I sat my béarnaise butter just on the top. So you can just see that now, all starting to melt, ooze butter over the beef, lovely. So let's get our garnishes. Remember with your cloth. There's my beef dripping potato, little griddled mushroom as well. Right, what we'll do, let's take some of our watercress puree. Nice little spoon of that. You can of course put more on if you prefer. Now take my lovely little dripping potato. I'm putting a tiny bit extra salt on mine. There we go. Some dripping potato on there. Then we'll get our beef. Again, that's beautiful and rested now. Look at that. Absolutely lovely. So the butter is going to all start to melt all in between. And I'm just going to get my mushroom just on the side. It's all coming together now. Red wine sauce. Just a little bit over the mushroom. Like so. Serve a bit on the table if you like as well. And there we go. That is my little ribeye, or big piece of ribeye should I say. Béarnaise butter starting to melt in there, beef dripping potato, watercress, mushroom. Hope you enjoy this one. One of the UB Chef favourites back for the vegetarian main course. We've got a twice baked green barn goat cheese souffle. Look at that lovely little pillow of souffle there. We put the top on, which is whey and goat's cheese. As it's in the oven, that melts over the top, creates a lovely, lovely glaze. Let's get it in the oven. I'll stop talking. 12 to 14 minutes in there. That will go in 12 to 14 minutes. It will rise up nicely, lovely and golden, all ready to go. Verjus butter sauce. Again, there's a touch of whey in there. Verjus is green grape juice, so it's lovely, quite acidic, but will cut through the cheese nicely. And then my garnishes. Sauce comes up to heat. Just as it comes up to heat, then the grapes, we've got a selection of grapes, tarragon and walnuts, into the sauce, give it a nice kind of swill around, a little stir, continue heating it for about a minute or two, and then all the garnish should be hot, ready to serve. Spinach is going to go in the oven about 4 to 5 minutes only, just to warm up, so I'm going to get that in when my souffle has had a bit of time. We'll be back once our souffle is all nice and risen, all ready to plate up. Okay, my souffle is almost cooked now, so what we're going to do, bring over my plate, and I've got my sauce. See what I've done? Look at all that, all the grapes, tarragon, walnuts, we're all in there ready to go. And what I suggest you do, because this dish requires a lot of sauce, so I'm going to get my garnish all in the bowl, like so, and then I'm going to make sure it's all arranged nicely, leaving a nice little hole in the middle, of course, for my souffle to sit in. So make sure that's all looking nice, a bit extra sauce. This is where you want the bowl nice and hot, so it'll give you that time to plate. There we go. Let's get our spinach and souffle out. So make sure you've got the cloth. There we go. Let's just close that oven up. Look at that souffle. Right, let's work nice and quick. So, take your spinach, just kind of mould that to a nice little pile in the centre. Lovely buttered spinach, touch of nutmeg on there. Then let's get our souffle on the top, just like that. I'm away to the table to dive into this one. Lovely little pillow, goat cheese souffle, walnuts, verjus, tarragon, lovely. We're moving on to desserts now. First one up is a burnt honey panna cotta. So what we do, exactly as it sounds, we get the honey, we cook it right the way down so it's almost burnt, and then that creates this delicious flavour to go through the panna cotta, especially where it's very, very rich. You've got that lovely burnt honey going through there. We've got little wild blackberries to go with this, or brambles, whichever you want to call it, but basically they've been foraged by us this week. A little bit of blackberry syrup with comfrey lemon to go with, and honey madeleines. So you see those lovely little sponges? They're going to go in the oven just 1 to 2 minutes, just to warm up. In they go. I've got a pan of hot water just here. What we want to do, have a little tray or a little dish, dip it in just once, let the water drain off, over, above your dish, turn it out onto your hand, and then just like so, onto your plate. Give your hands a little rinse, and that's got a lovely little wobble going on in there. What I'm then going to do is get some of my wild blackberries. There we go. All around. The reason I sent the little syrup separately is we don't want all of the blackberries to kind of go all mushy, so that's hence why we've got this beautiful bit of comfrey lemon. Just go around, spread that out as you go. A little bit of the blackberry syrup as well. And then let's go and get our madeleines out. Literally no time at all. You don't want them to overcook, you want them still to be really, really nice and light. It shouldn't be crispy. And then just like that, I'm going to get those in there. There we go, burnt honey panna cotta, wild blackberries or brambles, comfrey lemon, honey madeleines. Second dessert for you this week is a lovely little rice pudding. We don't do it too often. We've done this before. We put this lovely carpaccio over the top. It was with pineapple last time, if I remember, but really, really nice. So in here, this is the rice already part cooked. Of course, you haven't got to wait for ages for it to cook. This is Cassia spice. So Cassia is like cinnamon, but a little bit more fruity, a little bit more spicy. Here you've got the cooking liquor for your rice pudding. So make sure all of that goes in, like so, and then get it onto the heat. Little spatula, or a Harissa as we call it in the trade, and then make sure you stir that occasionally, bring it up to the simmer, and 3 to 4 minutes. 4 minutes if you like the rice with sort of more, no bite to it, a little bit less if you want a tiny bit of bite. So I'm just going to keep that going up to the simmer. When we come back, I'm going to show you the plum carpaccio, a little bit of biscotti and the syrup to finish off. So, rice has been heating for about 4 minutes now. Give it a good stir, let's get the heat off, and you can see the texture. Look at that. Lovely and creamy, but it's not kind of like stodgy. You don't want stodgy. Get your bowl or plate, whichever you want to serve it on. And then using that Maurice, get it all out of there. And I'm going to use the Maurice to flatten it down so it's all nice and even. There you go. Right, next, remember the plum carpaccio. So as you look at it, look at that, all beautiful. That's the top. So you can see how it's been arranged. What I'm going to do, flip that over, get your paper and just pull that off the bottom, and then very, very carefully on top, like so. Just tap it down, and then we will just pull off the paper like so. This is a sake syrup on the top, so plum sake and apple. I'm gonna really generously get that on the top, and then back of a spoon. Look at that beautiful glaze. Oh, lovely. Work that into all of the plums. This is just to dress them, like so. And all that's left, got a lovely bit of biscotti just here. I'm just gonna put it on the side, like so. And there we go. Lovely little plum carpaccio, rice pudding with a difference, cassia spiced, apple biscotti to go with it. Our cheese course this week, a little bit different. We've done a blue cheese shortbread. That's just going to go in the oven now for about a minute, not too much, just to warm that up. And that goes. And then garnishes, we've got a little salad of watercress here. I've also put a little bit of lovely Colston Bassett just to put onto the shortbread as well. So we've got watercress, figs in here, we've got blue cheese mousse, and then we've got the little little reduction of port, aged port in there. So what I'm going to do, just going to dress my watercress, a tiny bit of rapeseed, a little bit of seasoning, and then just dress that all over so it's all nice and shiny. We've got a little bit of seasoning on there, like so. Let's get a plate, and then mousse is going to need a little bit of hot water, so I spooned it in hot water to quench it off. What we'll do is get our shortbread out carefully. And I'm going to get a spatula. First of all, let's just put that onto our plate, and then let's get some figs going on there first of all. So here we go, figs, nice little base of watercress. Get some figs going around. Look at the colour of those, lovely. So a little bit more watercress first of all. Then I'm going to leave a little space. Dip your spoon in hot water. And then, see, I'll take a nice little rochet or quenelle of cheese mousse. On that goes. Let's put my little wedge of cheese on there. Then I'm going to go back a little bit more watercress, beautiful and peppery. Get a bit of height to it. A few more figs on there. There we go. Little one. More leaf. And then what we'll do is take some of that port. I'm just gonna dot it over, finishing with the tiniest bit of rapeseed oil just on the top. And there you've got my cheese course this week, little blue cheese shortbread, a little bit wedge of Colston Bassett on the side, blue cheese mousse, figs and port. Thanks very much indeed for joining me on the cook-alongs this week. Hope you've really enjoyed it. Remember, if you haven't had a box before and you like the look of it, go on the website, have a look. 4 menus always on the website, so you can plan ahead. It's great as a present as well. You can buy as a gift voucher, so you can send it to someone for their birthday or anniversary. Really, really great treat. And also remember, our branding is changing, so over the next few weeks and months, you're going to see an amazing brand come to life through the box. They're just about ordered now, so we've got a little bit of a lead time, but they'll be with us very, very soon. Same with the packaging, very, very eco packaging, all compostable of course, so loads changing. Thanks very much again for watching, for ordering. Support is amazing, and I look forward to sending you a UB Chef box in future.